Hi and welcome to another edition of Winning Ways. My co-pilot and wingman James Goodman not here today. He's gone to have extra stents hearing aid fitted. He's been battling to hear people, so hope that goes well for you, James. But in the hot seat, I've got Dees Donor. Dees, thanks very much for filling in again. Wonderful to have you here.
Oh, no, always a pleasure, Laf, and yeah, looking forward to the show. I haven't been here for some time, but you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you very much. What we're talking about is we're obviously going to start off with our 3 to follow in a moment, but Dees, during the week in South Africa, no stakes races.
Yeah, you know, we know that it's the start of the new season, the first month, August, things are a bit quiet, but it'll be shaping up now before the Highveld season, and of course then we move over to Cape Town. But you know, this time of the year, we're just looking forward to the awards functions, etc., etc. But I think from what we've seen of the juveniles last season and the 3-year-olds, it's going to be a bumper 2013-2014 season.
Absolutely, certainly looks that way. Right, let's go into our first segment, 3 to follow. Right, the first horse we picked up came from Tuesday, the 20th of August at Clarewood. Joe Somers stepped out a horse called Tiger Sight. No relation to Tiger Singh.
No,
but this was touted to be a very good horse.
Yeah, the support was there, odds-on favourite, and I'm sure Joey was expecting this horse to win on debut. And watching this replay, Laf, you'd see, I just feel it's inexperience that found him out on the day.
Right, let's go and have a look at Tiger Sight, and it eventually finishes second. There it is in the yellow frame, Dees. Gets out well enough, maybe a half a length or so in the famous Easter Silks.
Yeah, for my money, Laf, I think this is a sensible horse. I like the way he jumped out. He was up with the early speed, and jockey Anthony Delpish had him held together for most of the way. And you see now, we know that the favourable going is middle to outside, and Anthony Delpish just trying to track him over to the outside.
Yeah, it looked like all stations go from this stage, because as you say, Anthony was riding it and just going along quietly. You can see it with the shadow roll or noseband, whichever you prefer, and runs a very good race.
At the 400 left, I thought this horse was going to move up, going to win it. And you see now Anthony Delpish tracking over to the outside, but the horse that gets first run on him is the eventual winner, Minister of Magic. And this horse ducks sharply to the outside. You'll watch this here now. And then Anthony Delpish decides, you know, I'm not going to try and go to that gap. And he decides to switch him inside. Yeah,
and see, Alec Forbes has timed his run beautifully for Duncan Howells on Minister of Magic, and got the measure of the favourite. The favourite's run a very good race. He's trying to stick to his task in the end, well clear of the third horse, and be with this horse wherever he runs next time. So remember that name, Tiger Sight from the Joe Somers stable. 1 to follow.
1 to follow. I don't know whether Joey is going to race this horse one more time in KZN before he moves to Joburg, but as you mentioned, wherever he runs next, he could be worth following.
Yeah, Joey doesn't like to force his young horses. You know, he lets them find their way, and this horse, you will see, will improve. The next one we're going to look at is also from Clarewood, and this is, let me get the right day, this was also Tuesday, the 20th of August, and funnily enough was the next race. And it's an unraced horse from the Dion Fisher stable, Huponopono. I don't know if I pronounced it right. What does it mean?
I don't know, Lef. I mean, that's your department, but whatever it means, he certainly put in a very good debut run. Drawn on the inside, on the wrong side of the park, and Jared Samuels for Dion Fisher. And you see him now, he's also, you know, he showed good early pace. And at one stage, I thought this horse could win it, but that horse of Mike de Kock, Nicholas, was just too good on the day.
Yeah, Nicholas is on his inside with the red cap. Nicholas is a Brazilian import, wins a very good race. I liked the way this horse won. It ran a very good debut. All the action looked to be the blazed horse in the middle of the front four, and that was Steel Wing. But when the inside two kicked, especially this horse we found, Huponopono, the favourite couldn't go with him.
Yeah, just judging by the betting market, it was obviously unfancied at a big price, 36 to 1, so must have just shown natural ability at the racetrack. You see now, you know, Jared Samuels is pushing him a bit because Nicholas has flown. That's the winner, but he stays on best of the rest, and it looked like a competitive field left. I think with natural improvement, you could have found a nice one, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. A very, very nice run by the horse. Keep an eye on it, Huponopono. Right, and then we're going to go on to our third one in the 3 to follow department. And this was on Sunday at Clarewood, and Adam Marcus stepped out a horse, I think it was by Rebel King, called Chasing Dreams, and this comes from a long way off them. There you can see it. It runs in blue and black, black cap and sleeves, and a touch of money for it's to be Randolph riding for Adam. 4 off the left, and suddenly it hasn't got the speed, Dees.
I really like the way this horse did its work at the business end lap. You can see he was slow away towards the back of the field. You'll see halfway through the race the jock starts pushing this individual, asking him to run. In fact, he starts pushing him right now left, and he's behind a wall of horses. We know they track over to the outside. It gets very tight for him. And you'll watch when he presses the button, or when this horse finds his feet, he does kick on smartly.
Yeah, the winner here is a very nice horse too. The Civilian, who's out in the lead in yellow, blue and white. And the danger looked to be the horse on the outside fence looking for running room, which is a horse called Flamenco Fusion, who had the form. That moves out for a run. But the horse we found is behind it, black, but 2 lengths
Still
maybe.
got many lengths to make up left. I mean, this horse is at the back of the field. You see now that the saber's taken out. He's given a few smacks. He ducks towards the inside. He's still got a lot of work to do. But he runs on nicely. He gets the better of Flamenco Fusion on the line to grab second. But the bird has flown here with the Civilian. Charlie Laird had 2 good first-timers worth following. But this horse finishing back in second. Another stable. I don't know whether they're going to race him again, because I know Adam Marcus plans to leave at the end of the month left.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's a lovely filly called Chasing Dreams, and Chasing Dreams has really come on and run a very good race from the back. So those were the 3 to follow. Keep an eye on them. Just to repeat them: Tiger Sight, Ho'oponopono, and Chasing Dreams. Let's move on to our next segment.
Craven is a strong pointer to the Guineas, run over the same course and distance. This year, the field featured top 3-year-old Sureblade and the Dewhurst winner, Huntingdale. After a slowly run race, speed was the decisive factor in the closing stages. Dancing Brave shows his awesome acceleration that becomes the hallmark of the season. The one to get nearest to him is the extremely fast Green Desert, a champion horse over 6 furlongs.
Headed by Hail to Roberto and followed now by Green Desert. Then comes the favourite Dancing Brave, nicely placed in 3rd. Hallgate has made up ground now to go into 4th. On the near side is Sherwood. On the inside of him in the same ownership is Sure Blade. Then with the yellow sleeves just tracking the leaders on the inside, that is Vain Glorious. They've completed 2.5 furlongs now, and it's still Cash as Mewson on Hail to Roberto, making the running in the 2,000 guineas, followed by Green Desert. Then Greville Starkey and the favourite Dancing Brave going really well in 3rd. Over on the far side is Tate Gallery, one of the 2 for Ireland. The other one, Toca Madeira, is tucked in the centre. They're coming inside the final half mile. It's back to Graham.
Not that much pace on early on. A lot of the jockeys taking quite a strong hold with their mounts, but it's Hail to Roberto who leads as they come down to the point past the bushes, 2.5 to race, and Hail to Roberto in the lead. Green Desert looks a big challenger in the blue jacket. Behind these Faustus, Hallgate starts to pick up ground. Vain Glorious and the favourite Dancing Brave in the white sleeves comes with a tremendously powerful run as they go down into the dip. This Dancing Brave from Green Desert, these ahead of Hail to Roberto. Then comes Vain Glorious. Sherwood with the favourite Dancing Brave strikes the front of the Dancing Brave, quickens up in the start of a very good horse in this general accident 2,000 guineas. Dancing Brave, Greville round, Starkey looks round, no danger. Dancing Brave, Green Desert, Huntingdale 3rd, Sherwood 4th.
Green Desert's jockey Walter Swinburne was amazed.
I've never been down that hill so fast. I mean, I was motoring. I forget what they said. They ran the last 2 in, but it was something unbelievable. And then this thing came flying by.
The winning distances were simply 3 lengths between 1st and 2nd, a length and a half between 2nd and 3rd. But there's our winner, Dancing Brave. And Greville Starkey, having won his 2nd 2,000 guineas, successful back in 1981 on Togorimu. And Greville always said that this horse was a better horse than that particular Guineas winner, and he was proved right.
Well, there we go. What a racehorse Dancing Brave was. I had the pleasure of seeing Dancing Brave run when I worked in America. He came over to race in America, and I was working at Santa Anita. But the interesting thing about this horse, he had won this race over a mile, and Green Desert turned out to be a great stallion.
Yes.
What do you think of the 2 commentators?
Oh, fantastic. I was just listening to it and I thought that, you find it over these hurdle races, I think, overseas.
The Grand National.
Grand National, where they changed 3-4 times. But this was, just the guineas, and it was really nice to see them change the commentary. Maybe our guys should try it,
The funny thing about this horse, Dancing Brave, is that it was ridden by Greville Starkey for Guy Harwood there, and he went for the Derby, and Greville Starkey said, this horse will stay 4 miles. I remember the quote, he'll stay 4 miles. And he dropped him out to last in the Epsom Derby, and Sharistani got first run on him and beat him about a neck. He came from miles back, and the headline on the paper was Stinker Starkey. And he never rode him again. Never rode him. I think Wally Swinburne or somebody else, or Pat Edry or somebody else picked up the ride. He went on to win everything after. He won the Arc where he beat Bering. This was a superb race. It was nice to see Dancing Brave. And the colours?
Yep, Khalid Abdullah, Judgment Farms, and fantastic, and then of course years later, nearly over 15 years later, Frankel comes along.
How many years later?
And what's it, 86, 96, 2006, we're going on
37?
27 years later.
27 years later he gets Frankel, and in between that he's had some superstars, but wonderful to see that he's still going strong, and a great racehorse. Unfortunately, Guy Howard gave up a couple of years after that, and as I say, Greville never rode him again. But
I had the privilege of going to the track, the Rolly Mile.
Yeah.
I actually walked it with Michael Roberts, so I'm just having a look at the course there when they said they come down to the bushes.
That's right.
And then Michael tells me that, a lot of jockeys make the mistake. When they get to the bushes, they seem to move a bit too quickly.
Yeah.
And then the race course actually starts going up a steady incline. Yes. And a lot of horses get found out, and it was an enjoyable interview a few years back with Michael walking that course. And of course, we're talking about 86 and now a lot of changes. Now they've got that massive grandstand. Yep. Beautiful place to race.
Beautiful place. I went in the van that does the filming.
Yes.
And so I drove up, so I got to know the contours, and I sat in the van. We all had a turn to go in the van with the guy. The camera's on the roof of this Land Rover, and you've got all the screens in front of you, and you can watch them all as you go down. He's gone on the outside fence all the way through. It's very, very interesting what they do there.
No, it's fantastic, Laf. And the land, that's what I'm amazed by, the amount of ground that they have,
Yeah.
When you go to like Warren Hill, the guy told me that one patch of land that they use in the mornings can be used every 3 years.
Yeah, that's right.
Every 3 years. They just move it, every 3 years.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
No, it's really, really, in Paris they've got great gallops. They've got great gallops all around England, and that's why they've got some really, really good horses. But wonderful to have a blast from the past. We will keep bringing these old horses for you. That was good to see Dancing Brave. And next we're going to be up with Plum of the Week.
On the stand side, the Pink Silks of Albert looks to get a little bit closer, then Crumlin and Mighty Lion. Principles come under a hard drive. Albert and the Pink Silks now join Skit Skizzle as they come to the 300, but you just get the feeling that Skit Skizzle has a little bit more to offer when Samanga Kamala asks him to go. 200 out now, and Skit Skizzle, Samanga Kamala says, let's go and win this, and he's giving all the right answers. He puts his hooves in the right places, and Skit Skizzle's home Jerome. Albert second, 7 lengths Mighty Lion, then came Principled, and Crumlin last to the 5-horse party.
There we go. He's the Plum of the Week, Skit Skizzle. He's a lightly raced horse. He's a lovely beast, and he's got a great record. Yeah,
and entire, and just having a look at the race card, it was a small field. 2, 4, 5 runners went to post. He looked the part on the day. 5.5 to 10, you're just telling me with Interbet, 8 to 10 was freely available. Yeah. The only danger looked to be that horse Principle from Joy Sommer. He was coming off a lengthy break and gelding, so this looked the bet of the day.
Absolutely. So Skit Skizzle is a horse that's certainly on the up because he's run back quickly now, which suggests he's got over his earlier ailments, and a wonderful Plum of the Week. We're going to be up next with Current Affairs. Right, welcome to Current Affairs, and as we alluded to on the start of the show, that we haven't any stakes races around the country because we're just between seasons, and we've got the seasons coming up, but we had some interest from overseas.
Yeah, we all were looking forward to Shay Shay's run on Friday. I did not watch it live, Left, but I managed to catch the replay. And yeah, another courageous performance abroad.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, just before we go off the break, let's just talk about what's happening. The KZN Awards are coming up, and it's on the 29th at the Elangani Hotel. You and I will be there. It's wonderful to honour the locals. Yeah,
we've had the Equus Awards. We've seen the national champions crowned. I know at the Highveld they've had their awards. I saw a brief clip the other day with the Cape Breeders and Racing Awards, and it's our turn now, Lef, and we've held our own at the National Awards. You know, well done to our trainers, and we'll see them honoured again on Thursday.
Absolutely, it's really good. Now, I think the balance of power is definitely starting to swing. We won both juvenile awards with Longcamp Polly and Kochka. The Dynasty filly of Dennis Drive's Beach Beauty, she won one there up at the Equus Awards. So it really augurs well. But let's go and have a quick break, and we'll come back and show you what happened overseas. Right, welcome back. We have been talking about the Nunthorpe. We were talking about coming up these. It's a Group 1 race over 1,000 metres, and it looked to be a great chance for Shay Shay to win the Group 1 and show what a great racehorse would have been. In a few countries he's won Group 1s, and not to be, but a very good run.
Yeah, you know, he was a short-haired second on his UK debut, and one would have thought that this race was the right race for him, Left. You know, I really wanted to see him win, but it was not to be. But again, as I mentioned, courageous in defeat.
He said he's run in the UK before.
Yes.
He was runner-up in the Royal Ascot when I was there. You know, so he's had a few runs there, but this was the race because Soul Power beat him at Royal Ascot, and everybody said, well, shoo, what a race, but we were caught on the wrong side of the course.
Yes.
And we'd lock horns again and find out who was a better one. Now the Nunthorpe it's a part of the British Champion Series. It is to see who's the quickest around, and it's a huge stake money. You know, the winner would get £154,000.
Yeah, multiplied by 50.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, that's right. Sure. And it looked to be a good race. And let's look at the race, and then we can talk about the winner.
Rearing up there in the gates. They're off and racing. Slave Power a little bit slow to go here as they race over 5. Shay Shay not the fastest into stride. Bungler in the Jungle was, though, for this Coolmore Nunthorpe Stakes over 5 furlongs. Without Miss Lahara didn't enter the stalls. Or on the near side, Spirit Court showing good pace there, trapped by Tickle Pink and Tiddlywinks with Movie Star and Caledonia Lady. Also down the centre, Hamish McGonigal together there with Jawala, showing plenty of toe. Kingsgate Native. Right behind these is Slade Power and the Pale Blue Jacket. Soul Power is held up by Johnny Murcher on the far side there, just tracking Shay Shay, and at the back there's Swiss Spirit being pushed along as they race on, tank on down inside the final quarter mile. On the near side it's Spirit Courts then being tackled by Tickle Pink, Hamish McGonigal. Big challenge on the outside here from Jawala, who's running a blinder. Shay Shay now being launched by Frankie, powering down the outside. Soul Power as well. Slade Power is beaten. Jawala in front as they enter the final 50 yards. This is going to be an enormous upset. Jawala to the line, is going to hang on and wins it for Stevie Drown. Soul Power was second, Shay Shay back in third, then Hamish McGonigal, Ladies Are Forever, Kingsgate Native, Slade Power.
Yeah, a very good run again by Shay Shay. Funny enough, the horse who won at Jawala is an Oasis Dream, and 5 of 15. You know, basically a listed horse coming up and winning the Group 1. It was a big surprise, trained by a guy called Robert Cowell, and it seemed to just keep rolling.
Yeah, just amazing how things work out for you on the day, because this horse was up with the speed. Those outside horses seem to have the measure of the inside horses, all changed over the final 200 meters or so. But this horse, Shawala, just kept finding, you know, Soul Power again, a blinder. The commentator called it second, but obviously finished third. But Shay Shay was outpaced early Left.
Yeah.
It was a bit slow.
He likes to sit just off them in a 5, and that's where he runs. But it was another bold effort. You know, it's about, the owner get about R1.5 million for running second, which is not to be scoffed at, these.
Yeah, and I'd like to see maybe Shay Shay take his place now in the international races and Hong Kong.
Oh, what about the Arc? What about the 5 furlong and the Arc?
Oh, but Mike de Kock must have a plan. But
he must have a plan.
We've had a lot of success in Hong Kong on the December international race meeting Left.
Yeah.
You know, we've had our horses go.
They're 6 furlongs, aren't they?
6 furlongs.
Yeah, this is the Prix de l'Abbé, sorry, the Prix de l'Abbé, which will be run on Arc Day. It's always run in the middle of the course. You've got that sprint track. The stallion, if I'm not mistaken, the stallion VAR, who's such a successful stallion, won the Prix de l'Abbé as well. So it's be an interesting race, but a very good run. And was held up and just couldn't come through and win it. But Michael de Kock, he also stepped out, a lovely juvenile, well, an unraced 2-year-old and a maiden, got beaten half a length. Very, very good run. So Michael de Kock starting to get, given the horses, he'll produce the goods.
And what's amazing is once you're on the other side and you got the horses there left and they sound and they travel well, I mean, the world is your oyster. You can just travel left, right, center, everywhere around the world. It just becomes so easy to travel horses left. It's about getting them there.
Yeah, but that's right. It's still you know, rubs us up the wrong way when we find our protocols in such a position, and we keep saying it'll be 2 years in March or May, and no progress. You've heard of any more progress? Nothing else come through?
Peter will be coming on the show shortly and giving you the feedback from the AU with regards to the dossier and the inspection that they did recently, and he'll be updating you left.
Yeah, we need to know. We need to be able to get, because there's a lot of good horses we can get out of the country. Our merit ratings have all gone up. If we can start shooting a few horses over from these big races, we've had some really good sprinters come out of this country and really good horses. And I believe a couple of trainers are looking to maybe attack America, which will be very good for the game.
Yeah, and what I'd like to see is, and I don't know it officially, but the list that Mike de Kock's taking down to Dubai this year, you know, because he's been there, done that, although it's getting more competitive. You've been there since inception left. I mean, I don't think you've missed a meeting there now, you know, now that they're in Maidan, but it's getting more competitive, and you know, whilst our better horses leave left, you know, they're flying the flag high for us. You know, it's I know it's a win-win, lose-lose, whichever way you look at it, but it's really nice to see our South Africans bred do fantastically well abroad. I
think all our breeders and everyone, they've got to open these protocols up. Everyone will benefit, and be wonderful to see horses race all over the world. You know, in America, in Europe, the Far East, everywhere. We need to get horses racing, and let's get our protocols in order. But let's move on. Big race in America this weekend. As I said, there wasn't much about it. It's called the Travers Stakes. It's a Group 1 race for $1 million, and the Kentucky Derby winner, as they call it. There was a horse called Orb who was finding a lot of support and looked to be the horse to beat. But it went to a horse called Will Take Charge. And what's interesting about this Will Take Charge is that D. Wayne Lucas trained the horse. Now, D. Wayne Lucas he's won the most Triple Crown race, he's won Derbies, he's won the Preakness, he's won the Belmont, he's been a legendary trainer, and he went completely off the boil.
Yes.
And he came back and he won the Preakness last year, or this year, and now he's won the Travers, and he'd won it twice before D's, and he's
just judging by his record, he must be about 90 left.
He's 77.
77.
Looks 90. One of the great speakers. When you listen to him talk, you know, he makes Mickey Goss look like he's stuttering. He really is.
Now that's a bold statement.
Yeah, that's a bold, because Mickey's as eloquent as you get. But D. Wayne Lucas, and he's got the great chirps. He's always been famous, but he'd won this race with Thunder Gulch and something else many years ago. And they said to him, nice to win it again. He said, it's been a long time between drinks, but this one's a double.
Oh,
so 77 just shows, as you get older as a trainer, you should get cleverer. You should get better.
I mean, it's all the experience,
you know,
over the years.
Over the years, and you get the horses, you know what you're doing, you can do well. And D. Wayne Lucas is 77 and won the Travers, and well done to him. The jockey was a guy called Louis Sayers. I've never heard of him, have you?
No, I haven't heard of him. But touching on as you get older, you get better.
Yeah.
Ask Dennis Dry about that.
Yeah, well, look at without me being rude or anything, I think Orman Ferraris is a wonderful trainer, and he's not a young man anymore.
And he's found cherry on the top recently.
That's right. He won the Triple Tiara. You know, the man's a wonderful trainer. He proved it when he trained for the late Graham Beck, and now for Mrs. Oppenheimer. And I don't think trainers should hang up their gloves. You know, I probably think it's harder for them to go out there and talk to people about buying them horses. You know, they've been there, done that, so they don't want to crack on. But I do believe there's a lot of very good trainers who've been around the block, you know.
Let's not forget our jockeys too left. I mean, the 50 pluses, they're still riding competitively.
Yeah, they are. That is so true. And our jockeys are as good as anywhere in the world. What was interesting, I was just looking up the top UK stallions at the moment, because we always get horses that are imported, whether they come from Australia, Brazil, UK, whatever. The top stallion in the UK is Galileo, who's by Sadderswell by Northern Dancer. Second is Teofilo by Nightship by Northern Dancer. Third, Dubawi, which you've seen the success here.
Yes.
Wonderful, and that's by Dubai Menlelium, who was seeking the gold. And Mr. Prospector line horse. Every one of the others is a Northern Dancer line horse. Can you believe it, in the top 10? Dan Silly, who's by Daniel Danzig. New Approach, who's by Galileo. Oasis Dream by Green Desert, who we saw racing in 1986, running second there. Dark Angel is a stallion I don't know much about. He's by acclamation, and he's absolutely fine, but Northern Dancer Lion Horse, Daniel Dancer, Cape Cross, and Monsieur. Unbelievable, eh?
Unbelievable. And what's really nice is, as you're reading the names of that list, Lef, it's really nice to see that we got the progeny racing in South Africa, Lef. I know you guys go to the sales abroad, and you attend the one, the Magic Millions in Australia, and guys really support those sales and bring this type of pedigree back into the country. You
know, you just go have a look, and because of the shuttle stallion scenario, the Irish and the Australians with Coolmore, we managed to get Galileos. Igugu being one in question. Dubawi, Mark Terry's done wonderfully well. Bought Group 1 horses for no money by Dubawi, and Dubawi is holding his own. You look at some of these stallions here. They really are. We've had a Dancilli, we've had Cape Cross, we've had Monsieur.
Teofilio.
Yeah. Now, Monsieur, I remember Michael de Kock had a Monsieur filly, I think it was. 1-9, was this big. And Michael kept saying to Natty, Mark de Kock, listen, send it down to PE. He said, one more run. No, one. So send it down to PE. It'll run. Won 9 races, ran in the July, ran in the Gold Cup. The name escapes me, but that was by Monsieur. Just showing pedigree comes through, was that big.
Fantastic, Lef. And, you know, it's all about gaining our breeding pool, Lef. You know, that's what it's about. You know, we need to increase our gene pool here in South Africa, and by getting these international pedigrees, it all goes well for the future.
Correct, because we're showing what ability we have overseas, our horses. Just a horse that we've got a few of them out here is Choisir.
Yes.
Choisir, international stallion now. A horse called, obviously, won the Delmar Mile. And so there's another horse that's flying for us that we get a few. And you can buy Choisirs quite cheaply.
You know, whilst we're talking about the stallions, what about the fillies that some of our big breeders have been bringing in, you know, to get foaled down by our South African bred stallions? You know, not to single out any names, but Mary Slack has done a lot in that department.
Plenty.
You know, she's brought on a lot of fillies and breeding them with our South African stallions, and it's all about expanding the gene pool.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Have you got any other racing news for us?
No, nothing at the moment left, but I'd just like to officially congratulate Sirshan Reddy. He's an advocate. He was the winner of our charity turf challenge.
Okay.
100,000 rand to him. We haven't officially presented him with the tray because he's from Johannesburg. Okay. It was really nice to see a guy from out of province win the competition this year.
I don't think so, but anyway.
And with the Vodacom Durban July standalone prize was a guy called Christoph Menta. He was from Cape Town. He won the 20 grand. And then Sirshan Reddy, advocate Sirshan Reddy, was the winner of the 100,000 rand prize. And officially congratulate him on your show, Lef, and hopefully we can, you know, give him that tray and the winners.
Absolutely. If you anytime in the Ring of One, if he's ever down in Durban, absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And did he win it comfortably, or did he edge them out? Or
unbelievable how things worked out on the day, Lef. He had one horse batting for him on the last day. That was Super Saturday Gold Cup. He didn't have a Gold Cup runner. He did not have a horse in a gold bracelet. He had Jackson. He only had Jackson on the day, so he was hoping that all the other guys around him, their selections on the day in the respective races would fall, and which happened, and Jackson came out to win. And it was just unbelievable the way he won it.
That is really, really nice. So listen, all you Natal Shrudies, what happened? Cape Town, Joburg, bunch of dumbos out here. Come on, guys, sort it out, get it right.
It's about time, Budlef. It's about time. You know, the Natal boys have dominated the competition. It's about time, but you know, good response from the guys again, and we'd really like to thank all the guys that have helped us, including yourself and James, for promoting the competition. It was a huge success, and we're looking forward to it next year. But again, well done to advocate Sirshan Reddy.
Lovely. Dees, thanks very much for coming in. We've got another guest on your call. We'll see you in a moment. We'll be back in a moment.
Second position, but Military Roses giving them a bath. That's one of the biggest millions I've ever seen. Grace Valana, the leader. Grace Valana. Grace Valana.
Hi and welcome to this week's edition of Your Call. You might recall or remember James Guffman and I sitting here talking about the golf day that was happening down at the Wild Coast, and we're going to play a quote firstly of what James and I thought the golf would end up finishing like, and after that we're going to go see part two, and Bonsky's put together part two, but let's hear what Goodman and I had to say before. Blood in the streets, they say, down at the Wild Coast for the jacket, the green jacket. I think I saw Neil Andrews wearing it on his show.
Yeah, Neil Andrews wearing it on his show. It's the last time he'll ever wear it.
Knowlesy's back, isn't he?
See if I could tip a winner.
Okay.
Yeah. Knowlesy's back.
Before you go, who will win it? Who will win the green jacket?
I'll win it.
Oh, good enough. Good enough for me. Be with Jimbo Goodman. He's a good golfer. His mood's right. He's taken his medication and his painkillers. He's done anesthetic. He's done the lot, eh, James?
Yeah, no, everything.
We've done the lot, you know. Just memory's a bit of a problem. Hope you have a great Masters. Can you see James Goodman winning it?
No.
Neither can I. He's got no chance. Right, welcome back. As usual, Bonsky's put together a really good one for us. But our guest this week is Wayne Simpson, who's the project manager for Gold Circle, who are doing all these earthworks and civils up at Summerveld with regard to stables, the polytrack, and here at Greyville. Wayne, thanks very, very much for coming in. Just to update people, let them know. A lot of people know you from years and years at Gold Circle. You were the racing executive for KZN for many years. Now you're looking after what people are hoping is our salvation here.
Well, we hope so. We've, things are on track at this stage. We've got Summerveld going, we've got Greyville going, everything getting broken down to be built up again.
Yeah, let's start with the Summerveld scenario. The first move, is which we've seen over time, is that they've taken a part of the grass track up from the starting pens to put in the poly track. Now, the civils or earthworks, they come in first now.
Earthworks are nearly finished. We'll be handing over to poly track within the next 10 days, I suppose.
Does Signature take part? Does someone have to come and say, okay, we're happy?
Yeah, the civil work is done to a specification. They call it SANS 1200, I think, which it's compacted, it's got this, it has its tests, and certain levels.
Is that the base?
That's the base. We hand that over to Polytrack. Polytrack come in and dig their drainage through it, and then put their surface on top and the asphalt and all that goes with it.
Okay, so the Polytrack themselves do the drainage?
They'll be putting their drainage in. The longitudinal drains, the cross drains are going in now with the present contractor. Then the longitudinal drains, which run the full length, well, Summerveld has one, full length of the track to catch the water. It'll be into those drains and drained out the side.
Okay, so at this stage, Summerveld is ahead of Greyville with regard to putting down the polytrack, which was always the plan.
It was a plan. The horses must get used to it and all those things that are necessary. And also the timing with Fairview, they nearly finished at Fairview and they'll bring the equipment up here to start mixing
polytrack.
The polytrack.
Have you been down to Fairview?
No.
Tony Rivner went down there. He was very pleased.
Tony and Kurt, the local estate manager or racecourse manager, he went down last Monday.
Yeah, they've been down. And so now Polytrack comes in with the equipment from down the coast and they start laying the Polytrack to their own recommendations.
Yeah, they build it in terms of spec. There's certain Clegg hammer readings and levels and so on, and they put it to that. We'll then do those tests to see that that's up to spec. And then put the rail in and let the guys start using it.
Obviously, tracks need to set and settle, and is that the norm?
It's probably 2 months before it's called it open for the public.
Yeah, so it's been successful in many jurisdictions.
Polytrack, I think there's about 35 racetracks around the country, around the world rather.
Around the world. And the success there. Some have stood the test of time, so we're going into...
The one we've probably seen the most of is Linkfield, and that went 11 years, I think, before they had to rejuvenate and so on.
And Polytrack do their own maintenance and rejuvenation?
They do the rejuvenation. The maintenance is done in-house. You know,
Okay.
your normal power harrows, and that's all done in-house, but under their tutelage.
Okay, and we've got the implements, or we will have the implements?
We'll be buying the implements.
To get that track fluffed up.
Unfortunately, it's totally different to grass, but
because it gives us an extra dimension down here where we can race on both surfaces.
Yeah, the track is designed to take 100 mils an hour in terms of water, to get rid of water.
That's excellent.
100 mils in an hour is a downpour.
So
that should, half an hour later, it should be gone.
So you wouldn't lose many race days with it?
No, we shouldn't. The kickback is generally less than on grass.
Yeah.
I think one area of probably concern is your jockeys and seen in the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Racing in the rain and singing in the rain. Now let's stay with Summerfeld for the moment. I've seen it there. We are going to have as you say, they're going to sign over. The civils and the earthwork guys are signing over to Polytrack. They then come in. How long before we are thundering horses up that track at Summerfeld? In your opinion?
The proposal that Summerfeld's Poly will be down by Christmas, by the Christmas break, 15th of December. It'll be down and ready to start
to utilise. And then when they've finished the Poly, do they then move to Greyville?
Yeah, all going to get mixed at Greyville and trucked up to Summerfeld. A lot of the sand is coming up from the north coast.
Okay.
And that gets mixed here with the fibres and the waxes, and it'll get shipped up to Summerfeld, and then they'll start mixing for the Greyville here in November.
Where would they mix it? In the middle somewhere?
We're doing a little car park for them,
okay.
tar area, which has revealed quite a bit of history underneath it.
Because our spring treatment will be over on Greyville's turf tracks, won't it?
Greyville is scheduled to start racing Friday the 25th on the narrowed grass track, narrower than the final grass track.
25th of September?
Of October.
October?
October.
So it's a long break.
It's, yeah, nearly 3 months. But so get the bulk civil works out the road.
Sorry, what was that?
The bulk civil works. Get all the soil, all that.
That's what's been done now?
That's what's been done
and,
now.
So have you got two different groups doing the civils? Or is it the same group?
No, different. Summerfeld had its Africon, and Greyville's got a company called DevTech.
Okay, so they go in and they're going to lay it down now. How far around for the public out there who don't know, haven't seen the plans?
The racing Polytrack at Greyville will be a 2,000 metre race, maximum of a 2,000 metre race.
2,000. Are we limited in how big we can be with the DLR being there, that old edifice there?
Limited in terms of
width?
Well, the limitation is behind DLR, where there's about 38 metres that we want to fit 2 tracks on and the ambulance track. And
you've got to have the ambulance track, of course.
Yeah, that takes 3 metres each time that you want it.
Yeah, if you have a situation where you want to move wider with whoever's blessing, there's quite a few subways now.
Well, there's a DLR bridge as such at the top end on the Brea side that need to get widened.
Is that a big project?
It's money.
Yeah, it's money, correct.
You know, the Greyville underpass that was put in last year would have to get a couple of metres onto it. And the present pedestrian tunnel and the finishing post, that would have to go out another 3 metres. And then the indicator board would have to get further sliced off.
Okay, the new one?
Well, at present it stops right on the edge of it.
Okay.
The black portion that you see there, that gets cut off. And those tenders closed last week and they'll be awarded this week.
To cut off the end
to cut off the end of that indicator.
Okay, because it's been a great success, the big screens. Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, the old days of binoculars in the racecourse are no longer needed.
No longer. How wide is it going to be, the racetrack, the Poly racetrack?
Polytrack will be a 14.6 metres wide.
Wide enough?
You can fit your 12 horses on. Your average fields are less than 12.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you could always have 12 horses in every race, would be great.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd want to be wider.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think you've got to work within the limitations that we've got.
And a grass track will still be
wide. The grass track is, the narrowest portion is just under, it's 19 metres.
Oh, so it's very big.
We've left it at the 2-2. You could probably still run the 20 in the July.
Okay.
You know, to have the stalls on the outside.
Aren't we coming down? I think they were talking about bringing the...
Well, the maximum field in other races, anything from 19 would be 16 on the grass.
Okay.
So, but at the 2-2, it's slightly wider.
And just run me through the pull-up on the Poly.
The pull-up, obviously at the winning post, you've got the 2 tracks still separated. 50 metres past, the drain stops and the running rail stops.
Okay.
And then the 2 tracks merge.
Okay. Is there any chance of contamination or...?
Contamination is an issue.
Yeah.
You know, the wind, when you're cutting the grass, you don't want the grass falling on your poly track and all that. But yeah, it's got to be managed.
It's got to be managed, yeah. And we initially had some deal with the golf course so we could utilise, I think, part of the second.
Yeah, that's in the plan that's happening at the moment.
So that's in place. Are there any other plans to talk with them?
There was talk last week and a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, it started to actually widen up even further. But the complications and approvals of the Royal Devon members, I'm led to believe that the members have declined the invitation.
Okay, so we've still got our plans in place.
We've still got 16 horses in the grass. Is that enough? Is your grass going to last as well as it used to? I think you'll see more synthetic track racing and on the poly track. You know, with gravel up to 75 meetings a year, I believe your grass will probably last 25 meetings.
And the poly 50.
And the poly will be the best.
Is this just a guess?
Well, in the old days, you used to have a formula. It used to be 160 meters of grass. Per meter of grass, you could run 160 horses on an annual basis, depending, provided you fix your space correctly and that sort of thing. So we should be able to get to 250 races on the grass in a year.
Okay. While we're talking to Wayne, let's have a quick break for our sponsors. Here we are, Magic Millions graduates, and there's my horse there, Goldie Coast, third down. Brom Billy and Goldie Coast, funny enough, owned by the two same boys, and they're both by Schwazia. Adams Rock, Fastnet Rock Horse, and Royal Tasker. So a good week for the Magic Millions graduates. Right, and we're talking to Wayne Simpson, all about our new setups, and people are wondering what's happening with the training track, what's happening with the new stabling, because Clarewood will be closing down, and he's going to answer all those questions. We're about halfway through it, and I'm very pleased to note that we just finish off with Gravel first, that we're going to have the bulk of the races on the poly, you seem to think.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Would we have 5 grass, 4 poly on the same day?
I think you're going to have to.
Have to, eh?
Yeah.
Just to help the grass.
Just to help the grass. Yeah, you know, and if you get a wet day, obviously the answer would be to move the other way around. It becomes you've got 14 acceptors in the grass, which 2 are going to fall away when you go into synthetic. But I think local conditions can be derived to cover those.
Gold Circle have always had this plan to make this the flagship, to do up, as you said, this old building, the edifice, and get it all sorted out and get everything right. And we're going in the right direction, obviously, with the new TV screens we've spoken about. And there's bigger plans afoot, but your department is the track.
Well, at the moment, and also we're also replacing the lights. We're extending the lights down the back straight. Before we could race over 2,000, they're getting redone from the 2.4. So in fact, you could have up to 2.4 turf and 2,000 proper lights.
Proper lights, yeah, not car lights, eh?
Yeah, those gun poles that are up there have served their purpose, but they're proper lights. A company called Musco from America are putting them up. They're on site at the moment, starting to put their poles, and
so
they'll all be ready for the 25th of October.
So the existing ones, they stay?
8 pylons at the back, around the 1600, they're coming down.
Sorry to interrupt you again. Where are the pylons? Are they going to be on the outside fence, these pylons?
No, on the inside, on the ambulance road side.
The ambulance road side is going to have all these pylons, all the way, right the way around the course now, just about.
Yeah, I think it's 15 going up the back straight.
And the lights are attached to the top of them?
The lights are attached to the top. And
when they turn around, we can have night golf.
Well, 2 of the holes will be lit.
Will they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's planned to have those who know Royal Durban, the 8th and the 9th will have lights on.
Okay, so that's good.
So yeah, you could probably play down the 10th, 11th, 12th.
Yeah.
Jump across and get 8 and 9.
Okay, so that's interesting that the lights are going to be top draw. No
the
doubt.
Lights, you know, the company that are doing it did Maiden.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of race courses around the world.
Okay, so
athletics tracks. They specialise in outdoor lighting. So
yeah, so
I've got no doubt that it's going to be
a success. They know what they're doing. So it looks like, okay, let's talk. We've spoken about Christmas time being ready to let them rumble up at Summerfeld.
Well, that Summerfeld, in terms of the training track, the buildings at Summerfeld.
No, leave the buildings for the moment. We're going to be working them up there. When will we be able to work them down here or race them down here?
Well, the program put out by Polytrack is we should be finishing off the Polytrack lane of all the Polytrack at Greyville by the end of April.
End of April, eh?
So it's February, March and April lane, the Polytrack portion on that track.
So our new winter season, we're hopefully going to have 2 surfaces.
Well, the initial idea was Guinea's Day would be, call it the opening of the Polytrack. That's where our target date is, but at this stage I think we might be a bit late with that.
We will experiment before that, put horses on. Okay, so, and are we meeting our deadlines?
At this stage we are.
We are.
At this stage we are. Everybody's growing, the farmers, everybody wants rain.
Yeah.
When you're doing construction like we're doing, we don't want rain.
Yeah, you get nothing, and you're getting, your prayers are being answered.
So far, so good.
There are horses up at Summerfeld with loose fillings, it's so hard, but I believe it's next going to rain on Friday, so that's wonderful for our horses.
Well, last weekend they promised rain. This last weekend they promised, and it was beautiful days.
Do you guys factor in the weather?
Well, in the contract that we put out, we've taken history, and I think September's got 4 days where they could claim because of the weather.
Okay,
August had 2 days, and we've nearly finished August, and we haven't lost a day.
Okay, so things are really looking good. Right, let's go to the last part of your projects that you're handling. That's up at Summerfeld. That's the building of these stables now. They're down below my yard. They're across the road. We used to have those old houses where I think electricians stayed, and they've all been taken away.
All gone, unfortunately.
And those people have been moved somewhere else.
They've got alternate accommodation and so on.
Okay, now 502.
Yeah.
You're going to fit in 502 more stables there in boxes of what size?
The various stable blocks vary. There's 20s up to, I think the biggest is 60.
Okay.
We've tried to build them on the contour so that your cut and fill is, you don't have too big a banks between. But there are some of the banks between the stables are 2 meters high as they run down the contours. Then obviously the associated roadworks that go with them to get your horses around.
That's right, the walkways and paddocks.
Walkways and paddocks
and who puts the drainage in? There's a lot of flat ground there now. When I drive past in the mornings, I don't know much about it.
Yeah, what they do, they level their platform. It's obviously easier just to cut it and do it.
Yes.
Now they start putting in the drains. Once the platform's in, they start putting the drains to catch the storm waters and all those things.
And are we on song with them?
We were hoping that there would have been the contractor's on site. He's what they call site established. But the plans, we're waiting for approval from municipality for the plans, which are, it was going to be last week.
Tekwini, what it is?
Yeah.
Do they come and sign it?
They've signed, they're all in, all queries have been dealt with. It's a matter of getting them signed off.
And how hard is that?
The architect involved was there again this morning, and hopefully I'll get a phone call today to say they signed off.
Okay, and then now the guys that have done all the what would you call a foundation level and the basis?
Well, it's basically earthworks.
Earthworks.
The builder comes in and cuts at earthworks and puts his foundation.
When does a builder come in your opinion?
Well, hopefully he could start there next week if we signed off this week.
Is that right? Eh? Any ideas which side you're going to start first? Below me, across the road,
they're
or
building
up on
those
the bend?
two blocks below you first.
Okay.
And then they're going across the valley, other side of that dam.
Yes.
There's 5 there, I think, 5 blocks there. And then they'll come back to
There looks to be one on the hill. Looks a very nice spot.
Well, I mean, that view from
right.
that last run up there, over the cane down to the sea.
So, you know, there's a lot of trainers at Clarewood who are looking to come on up. They're going to be coming up there. They need to have some idea when. And I know Graham Hawkins is dealing with allocation and going through, I think people who've served the most time get probably a priority. A lot of people won't move because they've got established boxes there. So, but these will be nice, very, very nice boxes.
Yeah, that size-wise, they're bigger than the others. You know, I suppose it's like moving into a new house.
Yeah, it is.
As long as it's all built and it's there and it's solid and it's got all the facilities and.
Okay.
Yeah, I think realistically, I don't see the Clarewood guys moving until Clarewood closes.
Which is?
End of July.
So if there are people out there when you're listening to this who love Clarewood, love the racing, I'll ask you sort of left field questions. Any chance of an extension of reuse of Clarewood? Would you know anything like that?
Well, I think it's probably one of rands and cents.
Do you think so?
You know, they've bought the place. They want to obviously develop it and start getting their return.
If there's a delay in developments, you think they'll let us race at a price?
Oh, I think so.
Okay. But Gold Circle wants to move the Clarewood trainers up to us. So you've got to have it ready by the end of July?
Oh, it'll be ready by then.
Will be, you know that. We don't want to meet again in 5 months' time.
No, I think the stables, provided those plans are signed off
timeously.
Now, the building, I seem to recall the building plans about 8 months. So they should be finished also by April next year, done. All
right, so Wayne, anyone out there listening is going to be happy that things are on song in all 3 departments.
It's all happening at the moment. You know, we're finding lots of things that we never knew existed.
Yeah, it happens.
Like
what?
Like a septic tank that was last used in the 1950s.
Oh, yeah.
When the stewards used to have their quarters behind the indicator board there. It's been just covered over and we were digging and what the hell is this? And there was a septic tank.
That's interesting.
It never smelt.
No.
We pumped the water out, it was clean. I didn't drink it though.
No. One doesn't want to you know,
but it's and cables. I mean, from the water pipelines. Everybody put it where they wanted or thought it was convenient.
And it's not.
We're finding them.
Okay,
but fortunately, at the end of the day, we'll know what's live, what's dead, and we'll plot what's right.
Wayne, thank you very, very much for coming in, and I think it gives the people out there a bit of an idea where we're going with Gold Circle on this issue.
Good, thank you.
Excellent.
Keep up to date, and hopefully everything stays on track.
Listen, any pitfalls, will you let us know? Say, listen, tell the guys.
Depending on what they are.
Okay, there we are. Wayne Simpson, who's a project manager for Gold Circle, doing all this good work. We seem to be on song. For those of you wondering about whether your trainer's moving up, when he's moving up, or when we can race on Polly, I hope we've answered your questions. We'll be back next week.
Second position, but Military Roses giving them a bath. That's one of the biggest millions I've ever seen. Graceful Anna, the leader. Graceful Anna. Graceful Anna.